The Dark Infatuation.
Vivify Studio Stories.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I love you, we all love you. The crowd shouted and hooted as Kelly Grande performed at her comeback world tour. Kelly Grande was a very well-known pop star. She was a musical sensation. People of all age groups admired her. Children in every household grooved to her musical beats. She was an idol amongst youth and adults. People went fanatic and ballistic at her concerts. Kelly was a viral sensation and an idol to many. Kelly's love for music flowed through her veins, and her mesmerizing voice had the power to captivate anyone who heard it with each passing note she sang. She transported everyone into a world of pure magic. Kelly's infectious melodies and empowering lyrics inspired countless people to chase their dreams fearlessly. Within months, she became an international sensation. Her concert sold out within minutes and her songs dominated the charts. She became an icon of hope, empowering her friends to pursue their passions and believe in the magic of their dreams. For years, Kelly's star continues to shine brighter than ever before. She released hit after hit, breaking records and winning the hearts of people from every corner of the globe. Her music transcends language barriers and cultural differences, bringing people together through the universal language of melody. Kelly, with her heart-melting voice, had made millions of fans all across the world. Wherever Kelly went, fans and paparazzi followed her. Social media was flooded with Kelly's concerts and her personal life updates. Millions of fans followed her fan pages and social media pages. Her melodic tunes and meaningful lyrics resonated deeply with listeners of all ages. With time, Kelly's success only continued to grow. She released hit after hit, selling out arenas all around the world. With every performance, she instilled hope and joy into the hearts of her dedicated fans. Kelly was not a star but an icon to whom many fans looked up to. Every car, shop and household grooved with the melodious voice of Kelly. From a very young age, Kelly had always dreamed of becoming a superstar in the music industry. She would spend hours perfecting her guitar scales and writing heartfelt lyrics in her tiny bedroom. Kelly poured her heart and soul into creating her debut album. Drawing from her personal experiences and the ups and downs she encountered in pursuit of her dreams, word of Kelly's incredible talent began to spread like wildfire. Social media platforms soon became flooded with fans praising her unique voice and emotional lyrics, causing her popularity to skyrocket overnight. Kelly's song resonated deeply with the people of all ages and backgrounds, earning her a legion of loyal fans from all around the world. Her debut album quickly topped the music charts, putting Kelly to the status of a true superstar. She started headlining outsold concerts, performing on talk shows and receiving prestigious awards for her remarkable contributions to the music industry. The world couldn't get enough of Kelly, raw talent and humble personality, making her an icon loved and adored by millions. As time passed by, Kelly continued to release hit after hit, pushing boundaries and experimenting with different genres to keep her fans intrigued. Record labels summoned to sign contracts with her and offers of concerts and collaboration flooded in. Kelly, with her melodious voice, pleased her fans. The whole world was in love with Kelly's music and she became a global sensation. She inspired her fans to pursue their dreams. She was a role model for aspiring young artists. Through her music, she touched the hearts of many. She became the dream of many of her fans through her unmatchable talent. Wherever Kelly went, her fans followed her, took pictures and autographs of her. People were head over heels in love with Kelly and her music. Even after so much of stardom, Kelly remained grounded and humble. She didn't exploit her fame for wrong motives, but she used her blessings to spread a message of tolerance and love for which people genuinely admired and fantasied. She used her music to raise funds for the underprivileged people of the society. Through her music, she wanted to abolish poverty and illiteracy that was plaguing the society. Kelly's causes were appreciated through the world. Many people started following her footsteps and wanted to be like Kelly. She also became the peace ambassador of her country, and her country is representative throughout the world. But as everything in this world is perishable, so is Kelly Grande's stardom and fame. Her fame and stardom had an immense impact on the world, but alas, it was short-lived. Kelly could not foresight the unexpected downfall of her career and fame. Deterioration came in the form of a secret admirer. Jackson was a young blood with a head full of dreams and aspirations. His heart ignited with the passion of availing those dreams, and in the form of Kelly, Jackson saw the opportunity to fulfill and avail all of the things he dreamed of. Jackson belongs to a small town of Surrey. Like many others, Jackson was a die-hard fan of Kelly. Jackson had been absorbing Kelly for quite some long time. Jackson followed Kelly's life journey for his inspiration and motivation. He was enraptured by her beauty and innocence. Jackson's love for Kelly had twisted into an obsession. Unable to contain his desires any longer, Jackson decided that he would make Emily his. No matter the cost, he began meticulously planning his moves and showing that no traces would lead back to him, whereas Kelly and her fans remained oblivious to the danger that lurked in their midst. As autumn arrived, a series of inexplicable events began to unfold. Beautiful bouquets of flowers would mysteriously appear at Kelly's doorstep each morning. On her way back from her recording studio, Kelly would find a romantic love letter tucked into her car's windshield. Kelly was flattered at first. Kelly soon grew uneasy, sensing a dark undertone behind these innocent gestures. Every morning, Kelly would find beautifully crafted and meticulously written love letters in her mailbox. The letters were filled with passionate words, admiring her talent and expressing an undying love for her. Kelly found herself chanted by the mysterious mystery behind the secret admirer's messages. Days turned into weeks, and Kelly continued to receive the enormous love letters. Her inbox started to overflow with gifts from extravagant bouquets to expensive jewelry. Jackson even sent her paintings, claiming they were inspired by her beauty. However, as time went on, the admiration grew increasingly possessive, and the tokens became more extravagant. The once charming intentions became to resemble something sinister, and Kelly's initial enchantment quickly turned into fear. Many times, Kelly would find Jackson standing in front of her home, absorbing her from far off. Jackson spent countless hours studying her every move, memorizing her routines, and even infiltrating her social media accounts to learn more about her personal life. Jackson's infatuation grew stronger by the day, and he couldn't bear the thought of Kelly being with anyone else. Jackson believed that they were destined to be together, and as his obsession intensified, so did his determination to win her. Days as weeks turned into months, Jackson's obsession for Kelly reached new heights. Unable to control his desires any longer, he decided to take a bolder approach. He began following her every move, tracing her footsteps wherever she went, always staying hidden in the shadows. Kelly sensed someone watching her and grew increasingly paranoid. She confided to her close friends about the mysterious stalker, expressing her fear and vulnerability. Whereas Jackson continued to stalk Kelly, his actions became riskier and more dangerous. He broke into her house when she was away and carefully arranged her personal belongings to create an illusion of intimacy. Kelly was horrified to discover the heavy evidence of the trespasser. Feeling violated and terrified, Kelly was now an obsession for Jackson, an addiction that was impossible for Jackson to quit. Jackson would wait long hours outside Kelly's studios to catch a glimpse of her. He couldn't resist stopping by and admired her stunning music, which silently spoke to his soul. Jackson's heart raced with excitement whenever he saw her. His mind is unable to focus on anything else other than the subject of his obsession. He collected all the newspapers and magazines, with any mention of her name pasting them onto the walls of a small apartment. He would spend countless sleepless nights analyzing every detail of her life, convincing himself that he was the only one who truly understood her. Meanwhile, Kelly continued to live her life, blissfully unaware of Jackson's deep-rooted obsession. She passionately devoted herself to her music, pouring her emotions into the musical melodies. Little did she know that the man who constantly watched her was always present in the shadows, feeding off her presence like a drug. One fateful evening, Kelly was hosting a musical evening offering her latest album. Instead, it was a large gathering attended by enthusiastic critics, and individuals from various walks of life. As the night progressed, Kelly felt unsettling, feeling piercing through her unusual, charming demeanors. Her surprise Jackson had managed to infiltrate the gallery, disguising himself amongst the ground. He couldn't resist being close to her, charmed by her radiant presence and overwhelmed by her incredible connection. Kelly's heart skipped a beat when she noticed his intense gaze upon her, causing a shiver to run down her spine. But Kelly somehow managed to ignore Jackson's piercing gaze and continued with her singing. Jackson's obsession with Kelly by now had taken a deadly turn. He could no longer keep himself away from her in order to make Jelly his forever. Jackson thought of a wicked plan of abducting Kelly. As everyone at the musical gathering was immersed in listening to Kelly's enchanting voice, Jackson took the opportunity and hid himself in the washroom of the auditorium. He knew that Kelly would use the washroom during her performance, and when Kelly would use the restroom, that would be the best time for Jackson to abduct her. Kelly's performance was almost coming to an end. Kelly made her way to the restroom, her mind still buzzing with the euphoria of her wonderful performance as Kelly entered the washroom. She felt a sudden jolt of electricity pulse through her body, causing her to stumble and drop her guitar. Before she could comprehend what was happening, Jackson surrounded her. Panicked and frightened, Kelly tried to scream for help, but a gloved hand covered her mouth, stifling her cries. Jackson wasted no time in overpowering the bewildered musician, binding her hands and blindfolding her. With her sight gone, Kelly's mind raced with question as her heart bounded in her chest. Jackson skillfully evaded detection, maneuvered through the street. Kelly could sense that she was being transported in a vehicle. Though her exact destination remains unknown, fear and confusion threatened to overtake her. But deep down she clung firstly to a glimmer of hope that she would find a way out of this terrifying situation. The vehicle screeched to a halt and the abductor, yanked Kelly, got out of the car and led her to a dimly lit room as Jackson had blindfolded Kelly. Found herself in a room that was dark and dimly lit. The walls of the room were covered with the images of Kelly. Huge posters hung by the wall. Kelly's portraits were in frames. Some were hanging and some were lying at the wooden side table. Kelly was amazed to see the room. It seemed as if someone had been collecting Kelly's merchandise. The room was filled with Kelly's photographs and posters. Kelly looked around in bewilderment and found Jackson staring at her continuously. "Who are you and what do you want from me?" Kelly questioned. Jackson smirked and replied, "Yeah, that voice. How long have I waited to hear that voice? But now the time has finally arrived when this voice will only be mine." "What question?" confused Kelly. "What are you talking about? Why have you brought me here?" shouted Kelly. Wicked laughter of Jackson echoed through the room. "My love and obsession for you had made me do this," replied Jackson. "Don't you see? How long have I waited for this moment when you will be mine?" "Let me go," demanded Kelly. Jackson slowly got up and started gradually patrolling around the room, carefully observing every picture of Kelly that hung on the wall all these years. "I have waited for the moment when I'll be sitting with you and talking to you. I have been collecting and following you for quite some time by now, but now my quest for love has ended." Kelly vigorously wiggling to free herself from the ropes and struggling to maintain her grabs on life. But Jackson was intent on fulfilling his sick fantasy. A twisted idea of love, he would believe, could exist only in his possession. Jackson turned on his playlist. His playlist had nothing but Kelly's songs. Jackson started grooving to the music. He untried Kelly and pushed her in, dancing with him. Kelly tried her best to escape, but all her attempts met failure. Jackson caressed Kelly's face and admitted that he had been following and watching Kelly as he had admired her from his distance and was fascinated by her grace and elegance. Kelly had consumed his thoughts. And now he couldn't bear the thought of anyone else being with Kelly. He convinced himself that if he couldn't have her, then no one deserves to have her. Jackson became consumed by jealousy. Every time he witnessed Kelly's interaction with other men, Jackson's jealousy reached its peak. He decided that if he can't have Kelly, then nobody can possess her. He formulated a plan in his mind to eliminate Kelly so that nobody could have her. Jackson solely wanted to be Kelly's hire. His obsession enwrapped in his sense of love made Jackson take this step of abducting Kelly. "From today onwards, you will be mine forever," Jackson whispered into Kelly's ears. By now Jackson's obsession with Kelly had turned into madness. Jackson's twisted and disturbed mind believed that Kelly would and should always stay his, and that this could only happen if he killed Kelly and preserved her body in his shrine that he had created of Kelly. Jackson slid a knife out of his jacket. The knife gleamed in his hands. With the gleaming knife, Jackson slashed Kelly's throat. Kelly lay lifeless in pool of blood. The news of the abduction of Kelly was all over the media and the police were searching everywhere for Kelly. The neighbors, on hearing Kelly yelling, informed the police. Within minutes, a fleet of police cars swarmed the area, their red and blue light casting and glow across the typical serene street. With the crash of the front door, the police forcefully entered the house, revealing the chaotic aftermath. Broken furniture and scattered belongings painted a picture of a violent struggle. The police moved cautiously, sweeping through each room to ensure the safety of occupants and find answers to the happening scene before them. As they reached the room where Kelly was locked, the dim light illuminated at a distorted moment. Lying on the floor, the police approached Kelly's lifeless body enwrapped in white muslin cloth, whereas Jackson was arrested and was sentenced to death and imprisonment. The court also wanted Jackson to go through mental health therapy. As Jackson was arrested, his reign of terror that had spread like a wildfire after Kelly's murder ended. The admirers and all Kelly's fans mourned for weeks in remembrance of Kelly. Hey there, beautiful bookworm. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your likings helps this channel a lot. Have a great good night's sleep.